What's up guys, it's tech-raccoon back with another video, and in this video I'm going to be comparing the Rode NT5 microphone to the Rode NTG-2 microphone. Now what you're hearing now is the Rode NT5 microphone, and it's about half a ruler's length away from my mouth, which is pretty much the normal using distance because you'll be using it above your head. The only problem is that with my boom arm I can't really put it above my head, so I am using it just in front of my face. But let's start off this comparison with the build quality and design. So both of these are fully made out of metal, but I would like to mention that the Rode NT5 does feel a little bit more solid, and I'm not exactly sure why, but it just has a bit better of a weight for its size. But other than that, there's no real complaints when it comes to build quality. They're both fully made out of metal and they feel very strong. The Rode NT5 is obviously a lot smaller because it doesn't have that massive shotgun piece to it, as it is a pencil microphone, while the Rode NTG-2 is a shotgun microphone. Now as for the design, this is pretty subjective, but I reckon they both are pretty nice looking microphones. But I personally kind of like the look of the Rode NTG-2 because it just has that nice shotgun microphone look to it, and I quite like that look. In my opinion, the Rode NT5 is slightly more simple and more basic, so it does look a little more basic, but you don't buy a microphone for the looks, you buy it for the sound. So let's talk about the capsule that's in this microphone. Both have roughly the same capsule size. I have had a look inside the Rode NTG-2 and I've had a look inside the Rode NT5, and they both have roughly the same capsule size. Now, the capsule they're using is a cardioid condenser capsule, and it's a small cardioid condenser, not a large diaphragm. So the sound will have a bit more noise compared to a large diaphragm, but the sound still sounds really good since these are very good high quality microphones produced by Rode in Australia. So let's get on to the sound test with these two microphones. What you've been hearing so far for the whole entire video is the Rode NT5. This microphone has been positioned, as I said, about 15 centimeters away from my mouth. Now it does have the pop filter on, which doesn't color the sound at all pretty much, but I will take it off just for clarity's sake. So now you're listening to it without the pop filter, and this is how it sounds. Now let me move a little further away, maybe 30 centimeters away, to give you an idea of how it sounds a bit further away from my mouth. Okay, now it's positioned about 30 centimeters away from my mouth. It's just out of the shot here, and the microphone still sounds remarkably good compared to any other microphone I've used in this room. And this is kind of what this microphone is designed for. It's designed to be used in a room, in an indoor environment, while the Rode NTG-2 is mostly designed for an outdoor environment and not as much of an indoor, so you will hear more echoes with the Rode NTG-2 than the Rode NT5. Now this is what the microphone sounds a lot closer to my mouth, maybe 3-4 centimeters away from my mouth, and I'm not going to go much closer than this because then the sound does have a lot more plosives in it to the point where it's pretty unbearable. But this is what it sounds like, and I also have it kind of at a bit of an angle to my mouth, so there's not as many plosives. So let's switch over to the Rode NTG-2. Alright, I've set up the Rode NTG-2 on my boom arm, and again it's about 15 centimeters away from my mouth. Now it's just out of the shot because this is how I was able to position it on my boom arm, because it's a bit difficult with this boom arm since I don't have it tightened properly. Anyway, this is how it sounds like about 15 centimeters away from my mouth. The gain level stayed the same, but I will have to adjust it in post for both these microphones, as I can see on the waveforms to the left that it is a little bit quieter than the Rode NT5. Let me move the microphone 30 centimeters away from my mouth. This is what the Rode NTG-2 sounds about 30 centimeters away from my mouth. Obviously I'm going to have to boost the levels even further here, but it does sound a lot more echoey than the Rode NT5. Now I'm not actually sure on the sound itself because I don't have my headphones on. Now you can decide so far what you think sounds better, and I will now move it closer to my mouth. Alright, just like with the Rode NT5, I have it about 3-4 centimeters away from my mouth without a pop filter again, and at a little angle so you don't get as many plosives. And both of these microphones are very prone to plosives just because of the design of these microphones. So you will need to be using at least one of these on the NT5 and then the big one that comes with the Rode NTG-2 if you do want to use it close to your mouth. Now both of these microphones sound really good and there's no complaints there, but they are for different use cases. As I mentioned, the Rode NTG-2 is designed for outdoor use, while the Rode NT5 is designed for indoor use. So the Rode NT5 will really reduce the echoes and stuff like that in a room, while the Rode NTG-2 won't do as good of a job as that. But they are both good for the use cases that they are designed for, and even I have been using this Rode NTG-2 inside for quite a while on this channel, for about half a year, and this microphone served really well as a good microphone even indoor. Even though it does introduce a little bit of echo into the sound compared to the NT5, it still is pretty good. So which microphone would I recommend? Well, both of these microphones cost about 250 Australian dollars brand new. I bought the Rode NTG-2 for 150 Australian dollars used, and this one I am just lending. So as for recommendations, it really depends on your use case. In most cases, if you are going to be using it indoors, I would definitely recommend the NT5. If you are going to be using it more in the outdoor scenario, and even indoors, the Rode NTG-2 really is a good microphone. It just is a bit outdated. Now, one thing I do want to mention is that the Rode NTG-2 also does have a switch on the outer body, which does allow you to put a high pass filter on it. But in most cases you won't be using that, as it pretty much just cuts off all the bass, so the sound isn't going to sound as good when you do that. So all in all, this is mostly up to you which one you'd prefer, and this video is mostly just to help you make your decision, and I'm not going to be making any decisions for anyone. This is just to help you out, and hopefully this video did help you out. Now if it did, drop a like on this video and subscribe to the channel for more videos like this, and if it didn't, drop a dislike on the video, and I'll catch you guys in the next video.